Hello students, this is your teacher Manish, and in continuation with our playlist in Java, in today's video we are going to look what are different loops in Java programming. Okay, so let us first understand what are loops. Okay, so if you need to execute certain state of statements continuously, okay, until certain condition, then generally you build a loop. So there are typically three types of loops. Okay, one is the for loop, second is a while loop, and third is a do while loop. Okay, so let us quickly understand what these different loops are. Okay, so let's take an example of a for loop. So typically in for, okay, just to give you an example, if I have for loop like this, and these are different statements, right? So the first part, for into bracket I equals to 0, so this becomes initialization. Okay, the second part actually is the condition. Okay, and the last part is increment. So if you see, these statements which are within the for loop are going to execute continuously until your I is less than or equal to 5. The moment value of I becomes 6, what happens is for loop is exited. So let me explain again. Initially I gets initialized to 0. Yeah, it goes and checks whether I is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it will execute all these statements. After first execution of these statements, I gets incremented by 1. Again it checks whether I is less than or equal to 5. Yes, the moment it checks it's less than or equal to 5, the second time this particular statements gets executed, and it will continue executing these statements until this condition fails. The moment this condition fails, my execution comes out of the loop. So this is basically what for loop is. Now let us understand what basically is the while loop. Okay, while loop is pretty similar. Okay, you only have a condition within while loop, right? And what you do is you probably initialize before the while starts. Actually, while is pretty similar to what everything that you can achieve through for loop can be easily achieved with while loop. So when do you use for and when do you use while? While is a bit more structured. So if there are a number of initialization that needs to happen, or if there are number of control, if there are number of conditions that need to be checked, okay, with the help of logical operators, okay, the while becomes a bit structured, the while becomes a bit understandable, and from the maintenance perspective while becomes easier. Okay, what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? Okay, typically I would have do over here and I will have while condition over here, right? So what is the difference? The difference is pretty simple. I enter into the loop at least once if I am using do while loop. For example, if I am using while loop and if the condition fails at the first iteration itself, I will never enter the while loop. But if the condition is typically there available, okay, I will still enter if I am using do while loop within this, and then I will exit. Second time I will exit out of do while loop. Okay, so without wasting much of the time, we will quickly go through few programs, okay, which will help you understand what is the difference between these three loops, how to use these three loops in the programs. So these are going to be very small programs, few for few for while, because there are different flavors of for which I would like to show. Okay, and then we will see the difference between while and do while. So let's take a deep dive into programs. So as we start coding in Notepad++, now what I have done this time is few programs which I have already developed for the want of time. Okay, and I have kept, because our objective is to understand how the loops function. Okay, so this is demo for01 class, and if you really see, there is a for loop, and as I said previously, the for loop, the very first statement within the for is x is equal to 1, which is initialization. Okay, and there is a separator of semicolon. Okay, so if there would have been more than one initializations, I would have had a comma here, right, and I would have added another initialization. We'll see that example as well, right. So after that, x is less than or equal to 5 is a condition. So when x gets initialized to 1, obviously it is less than or equal to 5, and what happens is system.out.println x gets executed, because you go into the for loop. Okay, and what prints is 1. The next, after that, once x is printed, the new value of x now is assumed, or it becomes x is equal to x plus 2, which is nothing but 3, and then it again checks the condition whether 3 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it is, and hence after that 3 is printed. Okay, and then again x equals to 3 plus 2, so it becomes 5. It is less than or equal to 5. True, because x is 5, which is less than or equal to 5. So third value is 5. But after that, the loop exits, because new value of x becomes 7, and 7 is not less than or equal to 5. 7 is greater than or equal to 5, greater than 5 rather. Okay, and hence what prints here is 1, 3 and 5. So let us quickly witness this program. Okay, so I am just compiling it, right, demo, and then I will just execute it. Okay, and if you see, yeah, so there it is, 1, 3 and 5 gets printed. Okay, so after 3 iterations, the loop comes out because condition fails. Okay, let us now quickly see the second program. And as I said some time ago, if I have to do multiple initializations, then I can actually go and do it with a separation of comma. Okay, and here it is again, I am doing increment, and I have 2 increments here. Okay, I am incrementing x as well as incrementing y. Okay, and that it is, okay, and the condition is x plus y is less than or equal to 10. What I am printing is x plus y. Okay, so when there are multiple increments or decrements or multiple initialization, each is separated by comma. Okay, when the initialization ends, typically you have a semicolon. Okay, so let us quickly compile this program as well. Okay, so this is typically a example with multiple initialization and multiple increments, and there is a condition in between. Now you can have condition with logical operators like and, or. Okay, so you can have multiple conditions as well. Okay, so this is successfully compiled, and I am just kind of executing it, and here it is. So value of x and 9 which gets printed is 7, x plus y gets printed is 7 and 9, and after 2 iterations, okay, the value of x plus 5 becomes greater than 10, and that's where x the for loop exits. Okay, so let us quickly see a third example of for. Now this is a typical example. If you see, the condition over here, okay, is not there. So if I say, if I don't have this particular, I am just putting this if into comment. okay, what would happen, and I would like you to see that, is basically my for loop will go into a infinite loop. Okay, so what will happen, because I don't have condition actually there, okay, and it will just go on printing the I will have to break the program using Control C. Okay, so I am just compiling the program demo for 05.java. okay, yeah, and let us see what happens. Okay, so if you see, now I execute the program and my program went into the infinite loop. I will have to actually press Control C to break the program. And in such a scenario, okay, what I can actually do is I can use the break keyword, right? So the break keyword actually brings me out of the for loop. The utility of break keyword is get me out of the for loop. Okay, the loop is broken and the execution comes out of the loop. Okay, so in this case what happens is my I will get incremented, and when I value becomes 5, I come out of the for loop. So I will just kind of show you the demonstration of this. Let us once again compile this program, okay, and let us execute this program, right? So what happens is I have this program actually printing 1 2 3 4 5. The moment value of I becomes 5, my for loop is broken. My for loop my execution gets exited from the for loop. Okay, so this is what the example is, where we can have infinite loop and how we can come out of it. There is another one for loop which I just wanted to also let you know, that suppose we want to traverse an array, then for each member of an array, so there is this for loop which actually has traverse for each member of an array. So let us understand what it actually is. So I have an array which is of type integer. Name of an array is ARR, and you know what ARR is. ARR is nothing but name of an array, and it's a reference variable, right? An array is of type integer and it is initialized to the values, and the size of an array is 6 here. Now what happens is I am actually declaring, okay, I am actually declaring a integer, okay, I, and then what I actually do is for every element of array, okay, for each element of array I am printing I over here, and what gets actually printed is this array. So let us quickly again kind of witness this for. Okay, so I'm just compiling the program 06, okay, and I'm going to execute it. Okay, so what happens is the entire array gets flushed out. So for each element of array, that system.out.println gets printed, and here it is. So entire array is actually getting flushed out over here. Okay, so these are the different flavors of for. So let us now take a while example. Okay, very simple example of a while. Okay, now if you see really what we have done over here is outside the while we have initialized the I, okay, and then within while I am incrementing I plus plus. So if you have to compare while and for, it is actually one and the same. Okay, within for I can initialize, I have condition and I increment. In while I actually put only the condition. But now while makes your program very structured and well documented and easy to understand, because if there are going to be multiple initializations, if there are going to be multiple increments, okay, or setting of values, if there is going to be a complex condition, okay, with number of logical operators, then while actually makes the life very very simple. But from functionality perspective, the way it works, it is very similar to what for offers us. Okay, so quickly let us execute this while program for while. So while example dot java, okay, and see what happens. Yeah, you guessed it right. Whenever I execute it, I will have 1 2 3 4 till 10 getting printed on each line, and the moment value of I becomes greater than 10, value of I becomes 11, I come out of while loop. Okay, now suppose my value of I here is initialized to 11. Okay, what will happen? You guessed it right, actually nothing would happen, because my condition would fail in the first round itself. Okay, and my cursor or my execution will never go into while loop. Okay, so ideally in this case now nothing would get printed. Okay, and I'm just showing you, and look, nothing got printed. But now suppose I want to print at least one value, at least the latest value. Okay, then what should I do? Okay, so in that case I can actually use a do while loop. Okay, and this is what is very very important. Okay, so I can actually go and use, okay, the do while loop, right? Okay, so this is what is very very important for us to understand the difference between while and do while. Okay, so let me quickly compile the program. Okay, and here you go. Now what will happen is I will at least have one value, that is 11, getting printed. Okay, and there it is. So my execution at least occurred for one time. Okay, and this is what is the difference between a while loop and a do while loop. Okay, I can also go and have build a infinite while loop. Okay, which I can just say while true, and so I'll give you an example here. So if suppose I have here while, okay, so I'm just initializing it back to 0, and I'm saying here while true. Okay, and I'm putting system.out.println, okay, I plus plus. Now in this case what happens actually is my while goes into a infinite loop, right? So let us quickly go and check that as well. Okay, so what happens is I'm going to compile my program, I'm going to execute it, and when it goes into infinite loop I have no other option but to break it using Control C. Okay, but if you want to come out without breaking it through Control C, then we actually can use a break statement here, right? So I can just say if, right, I equals to 5, right, I can mention here break, right, and this will bring me out of while loop. So I'm just saving it, right, and I'm just executing it again. Okay, so let us see what happens now. So I have 0 1 2 3 4 5. The moment I became 5, okay, I came out of it because my system.out.println of I, okay, is before the condition. okay, and that's the reason why the moment it came out, it incremented from 4, it incremented to 5, and the moment it was 5, so last value which got printed was 4. Okay, so these were the quick examples of for and while. You would have understood basically how loop performs. Okay, if you like this video, do like and share it. If you have still not subscribed my channel, do subscribe it, and I hope you are enjoying this journey in Java. I am trying to make as simple as possible and giving you very basic and fundamental examples. In our next video, we are going to touch base upon a very important concept of object oriented, and that is polymorphism. Okay, so till that, enjoy and thanks a lot.